today we are actually talking about this whole entire pandemic thing. And we're going to be talking about the governments and everything else, what's going to happen in the next 4 weeks from today. So, in that area that I'm gonna represent these cards to you, and then I'm gonna represent these cards as well. So just take a moment and understand what we're gonna be talking about here, okay? But then I'll read you my piece of paper and you will know what the heck is going on. Okay? So bear with me. And this is going to be a longer video, so just... And we got these other three, so... And then I'll do these two later. So, we have that, page with wands, that, Alright, so this is the first half that I'm going to show you. So basically the whole entire thing of this is actually representing everything on here. Okay? Now, what it means is that we are actually talking about what's going to happen with this pandemic thing. And this pandemic is actually the knowing to understand what's going on. Now, I'm going to give you some information. Don't be alarmed if this is going to make sense to you or not. And by the way, give this video a like or a comment if you do. So what's going to happen? So April 20th to May 18th, 2020. 28 days and 4 weeks. Where are we? Well, if we look at this is an open loop. An open loop means that we are going to be, as opposed to depleted means is decreased, meaning that everything that you see is going to go down, where it means that this pandemic thing of our social distancing, the virus, everything else, it's going to go down, meaning that our statics, that if you hear the news analyzed and where are we, and BC is doing well. BC is actually doing well, and Alberta as well. The point is that we are doing this mountain that we were climbing. If you look at that on March 23rd to March 25th, we were up there. Now we are falling down, meaning that we already planked the whole entire curve. Means that we are actually going down it, and down it means that we are winning the race. So back to the open loop. Open loop means that we are actually linking it. We are linking because we're going to connect it together. What's going to happen is change, is opposite to reflect is image. Means that we are actually going to do the change. And change is where you are changing the way that you're going to feel of which direction we are going. It's kind of like a red light and a green light, right? So we are still in the red light position. So if you look at this as a baseball image, you have strike, clarity, pleasure, oppression. And so if you look at this as a way of this, meaning that we are seeing that we are, so that's number 1, 2, 3, and 4 I just said. So here's the thing. Number 1 is job loss, meaning that people already have lost their jobs if they're in, all different kinds of areas of the industry. Okay, that's quite a sudden for a lot of people. And what the government's trying to do is that if you look at number 1 and number 2, kind of like the baseball field where we are, from first base and second base. Well, first base is job loss. Second base is the government. The government, who is Justin Trudeau, everything else is doing like the government's helping people who are already lost their jobs. But the point is that they are going to help them to get on IE, everything else that or EI. There we go, EI, not IE. And so what the point is that government's going to help them to get back to work, right? So that's kind of like the thing, right? And you do that. Now, if you look at now those are the two I just said, and the pleasure for number 3, the third base is pleasure. Pleasure means that you're being good. You're doing well. You're being constructive. Like you're knowing the rules, everything else, because you're actually debating that you're gonna improve, that we are all in this together, meaning that we already are ahead of the curve. We already down the hill already, like the mountain kind of thing, you name it, and we are going down there. And the point is that we are in this together. Means that the social distancing thing is working. Means that we are stuck in our homes. We can walk around. We can, do all kinds of stuff that we are going to do. The point is that this is actually between the first stage and second stage. And first stage, I'm just telling you right now. The second stage, I will tell it. I will give you the last one, right? Anyway, the point is that so the pleasure means that we're doing well and doing constructive. Now, the point is for number 4 is oppression. Oppression is the opposite. It's emerging. Emerging means that we're going to go from first, go ahead to second, right? Like we're going to go, or we can go from first base all the way back to fourth base. Because if you look at oppression, you could emerging, all that stuff. Because emerging means that you're going ahead. You're moving forward. You're moving on this, and that's the point, right? That's the point. So now that's what I just said to you, right? And that's why I said, that's why I put the red light right there in the middle, right? So basically what it means is, I'm going to tell you, you have got this, meaning that we are waiting for the social distancing to let the virus die out. Okay, so that's what it means, that we're waiting for the red light to go into a green light, meaning that on May 18th, so in 4 weeks time, okay? Now, this is going to be representing step 2, okay? So, like I say, so all this stuff I just said to you is right here, because we have to figure out what's going on, okay? So we have an open loop, we have the decreasing, we have all these things we're going to be, right? We have financial, we're going to go and gain, everything else. This is the spring, right? So we're going to move. Everything else is just going to go into a different perspective, in a different way, okay? So that's kind of like one half of the whole entire story, okay? So just give me one moment, and hopefully you understand this, Okay, that's why I'm making these videos, so you guys can understand what I'm saying. Okay, so that's the first half. And okay, now we're gonna look at the second half. So pay attention to everything what I'm trying to say to you, and stay positive so you can understand what the heck I'm saying. Okay, because we are in this together. Okay. Okay, and then we have this. Okay, so this is the thing that we are going to do, okay? So this is how we're going to do. These two have to be upright, not the other way around. What else? Okay, good. Okay, so this is gonna work. Meaning, so you look at this, right? And you think, okay, well, we have damage that was going on. We have wisdom. We have everything else, okay? Now, here's the thing that we're going to do, okay? And we have consent, and we have everything else that's going on, okay? And we have the two pentacles, meaning balance, right? We're going to fluctuate of going up, going down, right? So this is how we're going to do. And the point is that this is how I'm going to get the second part underway. Now, so in 28 days, not 28 weeks, sorry, 4 weeks, so from May 18th, okay? Now here we go. So if you look at number 5, consent is a green light. So if you look at the Hierophant, is actually the green light, okay? Meaning that so the green light means that we're going to wait until Bonnie Henry says, go ahead, we're going to wait for the governments to say everything, because they're going to try to lift some restrictions, meaning that could be on May 18th. That's on a Monday. So just make sure to watch the news and pay attention, because if they're saying, schools are going to go back in session, okay. If it's going to say about social distancing, get back in session, it could be. But you have to understand that Bonnie Henry, everything else, Tamara, everybody else, you have to know what they're going to say, okay? And the point is that you have to understand what's gonna go ahead, right? So the point is that we're going to try to do this together, meaning that you guys are going to pay attention what I'm going to say, okay? And the point is that we are going to try to do it together, meaning that, so we are actually waiting for the green light, okay? We're waiting for the red light, right? We're staying there for a while, so because we got this. And then we're waiting for the social distance to let the virus die out. Means that we are still waiting for the virus to be gone, right? Because BC is doing well, meaning that we are ahead of every single country, meaning that we are doing well, okay? Because the first one the first country was doing it was Wuhan, and that was China, right? And China was doing that, okay? I don't know if it could happen was probably last September. We don't know what the heck was going on. But the point is that you have to understand what's going to go on next. Okay, so what's the next step? So what I'm saying about number 5, we are doing that. Now 6, restrictions would be a journey, meaning that are beyond step 1 or step 2? Well, restrictions are still in place, meaning that if we go back in school, if we stay in the same spot, whatever, we have to wait until those restrictions go away, right? It's gonna be like lifted, means going up, right? So, and we don't want that, right? The point is that we have to wait until Bonnie Henry says, okay, go ahead, then we can go ahead, right? But that's what number 2 is for clarity. Is the opposite of government, means that we're waiting for the government to say, okay, go ahead, right? So we have to wait, right? Because it's like when you're driving a vehicle, you're driving a car, bus, whatever, and you're driving, and then you wait at the intersection until it goes green. You can't go to a red light and go through, or else you're going to get hit by other cars. Okay, you don't want that. So you have to wait until they said go, then we will get a green light and we will go, right? Now the point is that between a red light and a green light means that the red light means stop, and the green light means go, okay? And the point is that that's what we are doing. So this thing is like a stop because we have to wait until this virus is gone. Second thing is that we have to wait until a green light to go, but we have to wait until the government says, all right, right? So that's the whole entire thing, right? Now the point is that we are in between stage 1 and stage 2. Now, so the first phase is mediation, means mediation is negotiation, means having agreed. And agreement means that we are actually going to do a compromise, means that that the government is going to agree on lifted some restrictions. It could mean that, people are going to go back to school, people are going to go maybe socialize. I don't know what's the dealio. But the point is that we have to understand what's going to go on. Now, this virus is still in place still, and we have to try to organize what's going to go next, right? And that's why we're waiting, and that's why we're watching the stock markets. If they're going to go up or going going down. If they're going up, that's great. You don't want them to go down, right? And that's what we don't want. The point is that we want it to go up, right? And that's why when you hear the news and they're saying about stock markets, everything else, we have to understand that, right? And the good thing is that when everyone's clapping at 7 p.m., every single time, means that we are supporting the nurses and doctors and everything else, because they're in the same area as us, meaning that we are, we are kind of like understanding what they're going through, okay? And that's what the point is, right? And we have to have an action plan of knowing what's going to happen next, okay? And we have to understand that we have to be together, we have to be brighter, we have to be bold together to understand, because the point is that we have to take it together. Means that we're going to stand on our ground, and we are going to be in this together, meaning that we are going to pretend to shake hands or pretend to go to hands together and just break apart, and we are in the protection stage of where we are kind of like understanding, saying, okay, we should just wait until the virus is gone, meaning that we will find a vaccine. Everyone's talking about a vaccine on the news, everyone is, but the point is that we don't want this to take about 2 years. We don't, and that's the bad plan. And so we have to know that if we move this together like ahead of time, that's great, because if we lift those, let's say social distancing, and we lift back to school, all that stuff, then if we have so many amount of people, that virus could go right towards us. Let's say a coffee shop, everyone will get sick, even the young, the old, the elderly, everyone else, because this virus is not good, right? So that's why everything is on restrictions, means that we have to wait until the government says yes, right? And that's what the government's helping for people to get on EI and doing all that stuff, so like subsidy and everything else, because the government's helping, and the government's helping because they are putting other people to be not unemployed, but employed, so they can pay rent, pay food, pay groceries, what have you, because they don't want them to get bankrupt or anything else, because they are trying to win it and to have victory of saying, all right, everyone, let's go back to our normal place. Right, so that's what I'm saying here, because if you look at these cards, you understand what's going on here, right? So, and it's not all fun and games, it's not, because you're trying to figure out what's good and what's not, right? So you have to figure out the positive side and then the negative side. Like the positive side is where you used to hang out with your friends. The positive side means that you had with your friends, you had memories, you had good times, having coffees, play games, whatever you're going to do, because that's and chatting and everything else, right? And that's the positive. The negative side is that where you think, okay, well, it's going to take about two years, and everyone's saying about 18 months, and blah blah blah, and that will make lots of people to be angry and be like angry and everything else, because they want to go and venture out. They want to go and see their friends. They want to go and not have social distancing, right? But the point is that you have to wait until the government says, okay, let's do that. So, okay, let's do that. But the point is that you have to understand what's going on, right? That's why you have to compromise. That's why you have to agree on something. That's why when you have, like, when they were saying about job loss, like there were so many job losses and everything else. Like that's a bad way to say it, because if everyone has a job but you don't, it's like you're kind of like making someone else jealous, and you want to work so you can be not jealous of them, right? And that's the point, because you have to know that the government's helping in order to have a good reputation, because you have a good compromise and clarity and pleasure of where he's helping, right? He's helping, right? If you look at Justin Trudeau, he's helping. If you look at Donald Trump, he wants to do the economy. No offense, but he wants to do that, right? But the point is that you have to understand what's going on, right? It's not like, okay, let's go ahead and you go and see your friends, and a few minutes later you get sick. No, that's not the point. The point is that you have to wait until this restriction is over, right? That's why you have to wait until everything is going up. That's why you see gas prices are low, like 86.9, like 86 cents, blah 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 blah. Because if everything goes up, that's great, because it will help the economy to reboot itself. Means it's going to go up more and more and more. If you see it to go down and down and down, that means that we're losing money, and that's bad. It's kind of like losing your job. It's like you wanna be employed, but you don't want to be losing your job. So you have to understand that. But you know what? When you think about 28 days or 4 weeks in time, then you understand what's going to happen next, right? So that's between step 1 and step 2 that I just said. Now, so that was restrictions, means that we were on a journey. Okay, so we were. Second base, so for clarity, would be wisdom, means having knowledge and skill. Okay, so we have that, right? So if you look at this and you look at this is actually between. So you have the high priest And the high priest is meaning that you have wisdom, knowledge, and skill. Means that if you have wisdom, you know what's going to happen. Second is where you have knowledge because you're learning, and you have a skill, means that you have education. All those three things I just told you, because if you look at the high priest, meaning that we are actually going through this, means that we are in this together, right? And that's why we have knowledge, skill, and we have wisdom, because we know about this virus now. We don't have to worry about it. We have wisdom. We have all that right stuff. But the truth is that we are not over yet. We're not out of the dark yet. We are in between the dark and the light, means that we're going to go through between green light, right? And that's why we're going to wait for until this red light is gone, meaning that there's going to be restrictions that's going to be lifted, but that's why you have to wait until Justin Trudeau, Bonnie Henry, Theresa Tam, BC Premier, everything else, because that's the point. So that's the second base. The third base is allowing, means green light is go, means that we're gonna be allowing of consent, means that the government's gonna say, okay, we're gonna do this, 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 meaning that what I just said means that we could do school, and then we're going to do like maybe some events. I don't know. But what they're going to say, they're going to try to move every single piece to put into its place. Meaning it's kind of like having a puzzle. It's where you put every single puzzle piece, and you put all those pieces to put into sections like this, so you can fit them in together. Meaning that you're gonna be putting every single piece together, right? And that's what this focus is on, because we are waiting until the red light, means red light to go from red light to green light, meaning that we are waiting from a stop to a go, means that we're gonna wait until the government says, all right, let's do this, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that, because he's gonna try to, I'm going to say separate, means that he's going to go from one group, second group, third group, right? He's going to go from there, because if he lets some people in, he's going to let other people in, and then he's going to let other people in. So if you do that like 2, 4, 6, he's going to help with that, right? So basically we're gonna move together, like we're gonna move from one section to the next section to the next section, because everything else is going to move, right, together. It just takes time, right? It takes time. So if you look at this in a positive way, you are doing this. If you're looking at it in a negative way, then you're not paying attention to the news. You're not paying attention, because if you're saying that you're going to get fines, you're going to get all this stuff, and you're in jail and everything else because you're not paying attention of social distancing and everything else. But the point is that we are in this together, and that's the point. So that's third base that I showed you right here. The fourth base, so that's basically home base. Fourth base is actually overloaded, it's crowded. Now, crowded means that if you have more than 5 people, or more than 6, or more than 7, whatever, means that it was overcrowded. Means that overcrowded means that you have so many people who are getting affected of this virus. If you have less people, then the virus could die instantly, meaning that this virus will try to not contain itself to another person, right? That's why this is invisible. That's why this virus is invisible, because we can't see it. But the point is that this virus should go from it. So let's say you did that 3 meter, and you go from here to here. I'm going to use these cards as an example. If you were here, and if you were here, then it means that the virus is right in here. but it can't be in here because it's going to stay there, and when it stays there, it fades out. Means it's going to die. Because it's waiting to the next person to go after, right? But if you do the 3 meter area, then that virus will not go to the next person, right? So that's what it is, right? But people who are more than 50 people, then they're gonna get sick. If there's less 50 people, like let's say 2 or 3 people, then that's great because the virus will not get those 3 people because it's gonna go after another one, like another senior instead of another young person, right? So you have to understand that it's going to go through what's going to happen, right? And for me, it could mean that it could die, right? And this virus could die instantly, right? But the point is that we have to wait, right? And that's what home base was, is that we were in there. So now we are between number 7, because number 7 is the red light. That's what we were waiting, right? Now, where are we? Its position is shift change direction, means that we were decreasing, means going down. And that is actually change direction. Change direction means that you're changing the path to go from that way instead of going that way. Means that we're going to go through this way because we're going to go through the right side instead of the left side, right? Because if you go through the right side, you're doing well. Means that we are making this virus confused because it doesn't know what's going to happen next, right? That's why you see the virus that's going through, going right into the mission constitution of that prison that you see on the news. Means that it's stuck there because it's going from one person to the next person to the next person to the next person. But you know what? It's like it's there because it's making everyone sick there, but it's not going to other people, like to another area instead of that prison. It's just going to stay there, right? And that's the whole point of it, because if it stays there, then it could die instantly when no one is in there, right? So that's actually a good thing. That's why it's going to change direction, right? Because it doesn't know what the heck is going on, right? So that's why you hear the news saying all this stuff, right? That's why you hear the news, right? And that's why I'm doing it as my own intuition, like my gut feeling, because I watch the news, I understand what's going on. That's why I'm using these cards to understand what's going to happen next, right? So that's why they do that May 18th section, like 28 days in 4 weeks. We could get through this. Now, the point is, so are we on step 2? And step 2 is run its course, meaning that we are waiting from a red light to go into the green light, meaning that we are waiting until there is no deaths and no cases, nothing, because this virus might as well probably dying soon, and probably doesn't know where the heck it's going, right? So that's why you look at this, right? That's why you look at this. So you have to understand that if you look into different ways, then you look at this, because look, you have the 2 of Pentacles, and 2 of Pentacles is from fluctuating, like it's going to go up or is it going to go down, right? That's the thing, right? So if you watch the recovery, how many people are recovered from the virus, that means that how many survive. The negative is where people are passing away, and that's saddening because people don't want to talk about it, right? But you know what? You have to understand, because see, if you look at the tarot card over here, is damage, right? A traumatic change, right? And we were from a normal stage, let's say 2019, that was last year, and now we are in this other stage with this other new normal. Means everyone's inside, they don't know what the heck they're gonna do, all this stuff, and they're missing friends, family, whatever. Because the point is that everything is like not bamboozled, but everything is going from between up, down, back and forth, right? So you have to understand that if we look at this as a positive way, we could get through it together, right? We get through it together, because the point is that you have to understand what's going on, right? That's why you see the stock markets. That's why you see the money. That's why you see everything else. That's why you hear Justin Trudeau. That's why you hear the Premier. That's why you hear Bonnie Henry, Theresa Tam, everyone. Because everyone needs to be making everyone safe, healthy, everyone else, because they don't want this virus to go anywhere. They don't want it. So that's why if you look at the cards that I'm actually representing, is that I'm actually helping lots of people out with this, because that's why I have so many views. And the point is that while I have so many views, I'm looking at this as a good way to help other people to understand, saying, don't go, don't understand, don't whatever. Well, you have to pay attention to my videos. And while you pay attention, is that you have to understand of everything is going on, right? Because if you hear the news saying about money situation and fluctuating and having concerns and all that, this could be just in your own way of perfection, of having a good way of seeing in a point of view. Means that your point of view is look at last year, 2019, and look at this year. Okay, so if we look at 2019, we didn't have this. We didn't have this social distancing. We didn't have this virus. We didn't have everything else, right? And that's why this is it, right? So that was 2019. If we look at 2020 now, you look at, okay, what's going to happen next? What's the second stage, right? That's why I told you about second stage and first stage, right? Because if you look at that, 2020, that means that we are in this position. Means that this is right now a normal right now, but it could be a new normal. And this is a new normal because we are stuck in our houses. We want to do something, we want to see our friends, want to see family, everybody else, right? And it's not just Canada. It's everyone else around the world, right? That's why you see Europe. That's why you see United States. That's why you see, everything else. Because you know what? This is gonna help everybody figure out the whole entire position. That's why I make videos, so when people who watch the news or they want to understand what's going on, then you have to know what Justin Trudeau is saying. What's going to happen on the next where Bonnie Henry is going to say yes or no or whatever, right? You have to look at her point of view, right? And that's why I have perspective on these things, because everything will work at one stage at a time. It means that we're going to work at one step to the second step, third step, whatever. Because if we do this together, it's going to help. If we don't do this together, everything is going to go into, pardon my language, but it's going to go into hell. There we go. Sorry about that, but I'm just going to say it, because if everything is doing that, right, then we have to try to be positive, not the negative, right? And that's what we don't want this to go, what I just said, because Everything else needs to be positive, not the negative. The negative is where you want to see your friends. You want to go and walk with your friends. You're there, you think, oh, I'm going to get a freaking, a ticket. From this here, you get a ticket, you go to jail. And when you go to jail, that's where the virus is. And then you could be kaput, and then you'd be gone, right? And we don't want that. So that's why you have to understand about this 3-meter way. That's why you have to understand of not going, of seeing your friends. If you look at this as a point of view, you understand, right? You have to understand, because if you go from one thing to another, it means that you're going from fluctuating of up and down, right? So you have to, that's why I do this as a good way of knowing what's going to happen, right? That's why I see this in 4 weeks, right? That's how we are depending on what's going to happen if this virus is out. Once it's out, great, but we have to wait, right? That's why everyone doesn't want to talk about the virus. That's why everyone's just, being, think, oh, it's going to crash, oh, it's going to do this, oh, it's going to do that. No, it's not, because that's the foolish way of saying what's going to happen with our world, right? No. Okay, the point is that we are in this to win it, right? So we have to have victory of knowing what's going on. We have to know that, right? And that's why this video is long, because I want people to understand what's going on, right? And that's why you see things in a different way of my point of view. That's why I'm ahead of the news 10 times fast. I can understand what could happen from May 1st all the way to June 1st. That's how fast I am. That's how I have my intuition, my gut feeling of knowing what's going to happen next. That's why I see different things. That's how my brain works. That's why I have, knowledge, skill, learning, education, everything else, because this is what we are going to do, right? So before I let you all go, the point is that you have to know the positive and the negative. Don't look at the negative. Look at the positive, okay? Look at what Bonnie Henry is going to say, what's going to happen, okay? So that's why when you see my paper that I just showed you, meaning that you have to look between first, second, third, and home base. We were at home base, but now we're not, right? And that was overcrowded. Now we are looking at the three, at number 3, 2, and 1. First base, second base, third base. Okay, that's the second stage that we were at. First base, we were at red light. That's why we were waiting until Bonnie Henry says yes. Okay, so that's all I can say. This is okay. And you know what? Keep watching my videos and understand. That's why I have so many viewers. So they like my videos, and that's why everyone's gonna like this video as well. Because that's why I'm doing one section and the second section of these cards, because you have to understand what's going on, okay? And that's why my voice is happy, because I'm telling you this now than before. Okay, before we were in first stage. That's why we had all these things that were going on. Now this is the second stage. I'm telling you this. Okay, so just remember, because if I have so many viewers that people like, who are from people who are liking them, maybe from Canada, United States, whatever, or Europe, whatever, because they like it, right? And if they like it, that's great. But I don't want it if it's like, oh, I don't like this video or anything like that. It's their way, not mine. So that's why you look at this in a good way, right? So just to let you know, Okay, and the bottom line is everything else is going to be good. Okay, so think about the positive, not the negative. Okay, because if you look at the positive, we are on the right track. If you look at the negative, we are on the wrong track. Okay, but let's not talk about that. Anyway, have a good day to you all. Have a good afternoon, evening. Have a good day tomorrow. Everything else, but just keep watching my videos, and hopefully we will get this together. Thank you very much, and have a good day to you all. And this is Spirited Alex. Thanks, and have a good day.